Few names are as important in WWE's recent history as Stephanie McMahon is. The daughter of Vince and Linda McMahon joined WWE on the television side in the late 1990s before moving into powerful backstage positions. Wrestling fans were more used to the on-screen side of things, with Stephanie often in an authority figure position. There was a select list of matches for McMahon when the right storylines called for it, but she was considered a non-wrestler. Fans still treated Stephanie among the most credible characters since she often had major angles and interacted with top names. Every gimmick from McMahon's on-screen career will be ranked to see which fell from the worst to the best. WWE introduced Stephanie McMahon as the babyface daughter of Vince McMahon. Two storylines defined this time of Stephanie's WWE career. The first featured The Undertaker attempting to abduct her as part of a bigger angle with Vince. However, this warmed Stephanie up to become a full-time member of WWE television. Test entered a romantic relationship with her to help them both feel more relevant. Stephanie felt flat as a babyface and required a heel turn to find her voice. WWE writing Vince McMahon off television in the summer of 2008 led to Shane and Stephanie McMahon returning to run the Raw show every week. The siblings played babyfaces and tried to resemble neutral parties in their appearances. This chapter of Stephanie and Shane's career somehow culminated with them naming Mike Adamle as the new Raw general manager. Adamle being removed from the role saw the McMahon family back until Randy Orton's feud against Triple H saw him taking the McMahons down with vicious attacks. The storyline of Randy Orton targeting the McMahon family saw them all taking a break afterwards. Stephanie continued to be prominent in a major backstage position helping run the show and company, but she was barely on screen for years. The Gimmick was essentially a figurehead whenever Stephanie was back for a unique scenario. WWE had her involved in press conferences or the odd story segment, like when she clashed with CM Punk in between his insults towards her family.
The invasion of WCW and ECW attempting to take over WWE remains a historic what-if scenario. Fans wanted a storyline like this badly for many years, and it turned out to be a disaster from start to finish. Stephanie McMahon received her new gimmick as the ECW owner when Vince McMahon decided to add ECW to the WWE vs. WCW war. Shane was already the owner of WCW to add some symmetry there. Both McMahon kids played great heels, but they had no chance of making a bad idea to have them lead rival promotions work.
WWE brought back the brand split and draft in 2016 after a few years with one joint roster. The selling point was Vince McMahon naming Stephanie as the Raw commissioner and Shane as the SmackDown commissioner. Stephanie hired Mick Foley as the Raw general manager and both characters remained tied together. The heel core of Stephanie always existed, but she showed respect towards Mick at the start. This all ended when WWE removed Foley from the position and had Stephanie fire him to move into another work dynamic with new GM Kurt Angle. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon ran the on-screen product once again for a large portion of the 2010s. Daniel Bryan's feud with the Authority working so well led to more wrestlers becoming on-screen rivals to the powerful duo. Brie Bella had a feud with Stephanie after Bryan got injured to extend the angle and give us Stephanie's first match in over a decade. WWE witnessed Stephanie thriving as a top heel again, interacting with many relevant names. The first WWE brand split came in 2002 when Vince McMahon and Ric Flair split the rosters. However, WWE pivoted towards Vince winning Flair's shares and naming Eric Bischoff and Stephanie McMahon as the new general manager. Stephanie returned from a short absence as a babyface wanting to run a fair show. SmackDown became must-watch television during the early stages of this tenure. Fans embraced Stephanie as a babyface for a rare instance in her career. Stephanie McMahon felt a tier below Vince and Shane as on-screen characters during her early babyface run. A heel turn came at the right time to help Stephanie find her ideal voice as a hated character. Triple H and Stephanie running Raw for the first few months of 2000 saw them dubbing it the McMahon-Helmsley regime. Outstanding feuds with The Rock, Mick Foley, Chris Jericho, and plenty others gave WWE must-watch television during a year with almost no Steve Austin.